quick. So welcome everybody. I officially want to welcome everyone to the 2021-2022 Houston Money Week kickoff meeting. We were really hopeful last March, April-ish time period that we may be back in person right now. Obviously we're not, but we are hopeful and we have our fingers crossed that for Houston Money Week 2022, we are going to be able to be in person, work a little bit more, plan together. And so we're still really excited about that, but we know that everybody's situations are still a little bit different. So we appreciate you taking time today and jumping on the call. So if you are first time Houston Money Week, welcome to us. It is great to see everyone. Hey, Sherry, a good old friend. So Houston Money Week, what we want to do today is just to give a real brief overview of what Houston Money Week is, talk a little bit about last year, some of the successes that we had, and some really great things that we did for Houston Money Week of 2021, talk a little bit about what we're hoping to do this year. And then we've got 4 people that are going to talk a little bit about what they did for Houston Money Week for last year, what they might be hoping to be doing for Houston Money Week of 2022 as well. And then we are going to break up into rooms and do some small introductions and conversations. And looking around the Zoom squares that are on my screen right now, there's a lot of real familiar faces and a lot of amazing people doing amazing things here in Houston. There's also some names that I'm not quite familiar with. So that is fantastic. But we want to make sure that we still have an opportunity to connect with one another and talk about what we're doing if things are different or how we're operating. I can tell you one of my favorite pieces of Houston Money Week in the past was the opportunity to network and collaborate, get to know other people, find out the really cool stuff going on in Houston. And we want to make sure that we still have an opportunity to do that as we move forward. So if you are new to Houston Money Week, welcome. Houston Money Week has been around for a little over 10 years now, and we are a group of people that come together to provide free financial education and financial literacy to the community in a very collaborative nature. In talking to a lot of people across the country, and if you are either in banking or if you are in nonprofits or public administration, community service, a collaboration like this is unique, and it is something that doesn't always happen in every city as we're going. So we're very thankful for that opportunity that we have. We come together. If you are unfamiliar with Houston Money Week and our website, I'll put that in the chat here in a little bit, but we would love for you to take a look at Houston Money Week and what we are doing. And we are going to be getting together and meeting every month until April. So we've got this meeting, we'll have one in December, and then we'll continue to meet until we actually have our Houston Money Week in April of 2022 as we get together and do things. I do want to do a shout out and give a thanks to our leadership team. Many of them are on the call. Nobody is paid at Houston Money Week. So we are all volunteers that come together to work and to serve and to bring things together. So I do want to give a shout out to our leadership team that is on the call and those who were unable to make it. Last year, right, to recap Houston Money Week 2021, last year was a unique year for us because it was 100% virtual. We all know that you are doing amazing things with your organization, with your financial institution, with your community organization that you're with, but we also know that it was a very challenging year and a very different year. And so I want to say thank you to everyone that kind of stepped up and did their part to still spread the word of Houston Money Week and the work that we do and the collaborations that we've had. We know that over the last year, some organizations and some businesses, found struggle. And we also know that many others really were able to step up and do some amazing stuff and change how they work and serve more people. So in talking to many of you over the past year, I was amazed how many people said, well, because of Houston Money Week, I changed and I did this, and here's how we are now able to serve more people, and here's how we're able to get out there. So I think that that is fantastic and great. Last year for Houston Money, we did a few things a little bit differently. We provided over $2,000 in grants to our nonprofit partners to help with technology and support. And so we provided that throughout Houston for individuals to be able to do things like Zoom accounts, like hardware, other software, other platforms, to be able to continually serve their clients throughout there. In addition, we increased the amount of scholarships that we did offer through some of our contests for our last year. In addition, all of our contest winners did receive a laptop as well. Thinking on this, we're all moving and utilizing technology more, and we want to support technology more. And so that was some of the changes and what we were really excited about. Going into Houston Money Week 2022, we are still virtual right now. We are hoping and we are going to be planning on doing some events in person, but we also know that they may not happen. And if that does not happen, then we will be virtual. So as we are planning and moving through, we are hoping to be able to plan to be in person serving our community based on your organization's guidelines, but then also be able to pivot and offer virtual services as well as we move forward here into 2022. A few other things that are going on that I want to make sure that we are look at. Come December, we don't have a final date for this yet, but we have a lot of Houston Money Week swag and giveaways and freebies and gifts that we would love to get in your hands so you can get into the community's hands. So we right now as a leadership team are planning a day. It'll probably be early December where we will have a central location in Houston where we will say, we have things, please come pick things up and pick up some swag and Houston Money Week gear to be able to give out throughout this entire year. So be looking for a communication from the leadership team about that it will be coming and moving forward as we are going. So again, welcome. We are so excited that you are here and that you've joined us. And so what I want to do is I want to turn it over to about 4 individuals that have been with Houston Money Week for a while that are just going to talk a little bit about the different aspects of Houston Money Week, what they've done before, hopefully get us thinking a little bit and maybe some opportunities that are there. Move forward. I will say before I turn it over that one thing I've been amazed about this group and about this collaboration is the ability to come up with an idea. And even if it's just a little spark and say, I have an idea to do this. And then somebody else jumps in and says, oh, we can do this as well. And then next thing you know, 3 or 4 people come together and we put on some amazing events and some amazing opportunities. And so that's been one of my favorite pieces that we've had. So with saying that there, I'd love to turn it over to Misha, who's part of our leadership team, to talk a little bit about what Regions Bank does, what Misha does. And then also, Misha, if you want to talk about the essays and the committees and some of those type of things as well, and what you're leading up this year. Thank you for joining us and sharing.
Okay, thank you, Richard, and thank you all for your time today. And so I want to talk about some of the events that we've done in the past. Regions Bank in the past, I believe since inception of Houston Money Week, has partnered with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, the Houston branch, to throw a 100 teams program. And that's basically where we got 100 teams from across Houston to come in and teach them financial education. We had a really great partnership with the Federal Reserve, and we would actually teach them real life circumstances and situations on how they could better balance their personal finances. That has changed due to COVID because last year we weren't able to really figure out the virtual piece because there were a lot of kids that were at home. And so we were definitely looking for opportunities to partner in different ways. And so we actually partnered with the Houston Financial Empowerment Center to put on 2 events. We actually have 16 modules with our Regions Next Step program that we're able to offer to nonprofit organizations free of charge. And so we actually had one for individuals with disabilities, as well as just a normal personal finance session. And so that was very, very successful. And we were happy to offer that in collaboration with the Houston Financial Empowerment Centers. And so we're definitely still looking for opportunities this year to partner with nonprofit organizations. Like I said, we have our own curriculum. We can partner with you all, offer it to your clients for free. And we really just want to be innovative and try to think of different ways that we can offer this material to everyone. And so is there any, so so as far as other things that we have going on, I will actually be doing the Houston Money Week essay contest again. And so if you're interested in reading any essays, so we're going to reach out to schools again, recruit different schools to make sure that their students are actually engaged this year for the essay contest. And so the essay contest, basically, we have a prompt that we provide to the students, and they're able to write an essay in tune with the prompt, and then we have judges that's going to judge all the essays and get the top winners to figure out who gets the awards. We have scholarships. Last year we gave out Chromebooks, and I believe there was something else that we gave out possibly. Was there anything else?
We did a different award for people in the community, but yeah, we gave out significantly more scholarships last year for middle school, high school, and adults. And then everybody that won also did get a laptop as well and a subscription to Office 365.
Right. Thank you for that. My memory has dragged since COVID started. But in addition to that, we also had a GIF contest. I don't know if you say GIF or GIF, but we had a GIF or GIF contest where people actually were able to submit a gift that was related to financial education. And we also gave them a Chromebook as well. And so I don't know if we're doing that again this year, but we're definitely open to the possibilities. So if you're interested in joining the Houston Money Week essay contest to be a judge, please reach out to me, put your email in the chat, and I'll definitely reach out to you about when we're going to get started. Any questions for me?
So one thing that I can say, Misha, about being part of the essay contest and running those in the past, when you're thinking, oh, it's another committee, I'm really busy at work, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. I want to let you know, you get together, you all kind of design and figure out what the prompt is going to be for one meeting. Misha, myself, and a few other people do the work on getting it out there, collecting all of them. And then when it actually comes to judge, it'll be close to the Houston Money Week time. You get together and you might get 10 to 15 1 to 1.5 page essays to go through and score. So when you're thinking about it, it's a great way to get involved. That's not a real heavy lift that you've got to attend multiple subcommittee meetings or anything like that along the ways. And it's really fun and really cool to see all of the great work that the community and the students do and put together. Some of the essays are absolutely fantastic, and it's a lot of fun to read. So I'm going to encourage you all to reach out to Misha.
Thanks, Richard.
Any other questions for Misha about what Regions has done and some of those great events that they have done and how they pivoted a little bit when they went virtual, and or the essay contest that she has? Well, before I turn it over to the magnificent and fantastic Christopher Hensley, I would like to say one more thing about the essay contest, which is when we send the information out, if you have connections with any educational partners or any schools, please feel free to reach out and connect me with them if they want to have a conversation or share that flyer. We want to make sure that this goes far and wide and everyone does have an opportunity to put it in and to get out there to serve more students. So with that there, Christopher, I want to turn it over to you for you to talk a little bit about, how you market it, how you get your information out, and what you have done before in the past with Houston Money Week.
Yeah, absolutely, Richard. Thank you. And before I sat down for this, I put together a list of, what have we done? What have I done for Houston Money Week in the past? And I was trying to kind of cherry pick the ones that I liked the most. And man, we've done so much stuff as a group. So I thought just kind of sharing some of that stuff, like even on my desk, I've got a picture of from the 100 Teens where we were able to meet Magic Johnson. It's kind of comical because it's a group picture and I think I come up to his belt on there, but have that guy, I got that sitting here on my desk here. And lately I've done quite a bit on the media side. I host Money Matters radio show, which came out in 2013. We've been around, we just finished episode 285 and we've been around for about 7 years. But that came about through Houston Money Week in different facets. I've been on Magic 102. Many of the people here on this call right now have been interviewed by me through Money Matters to promote Houston Money Week and their activity in the Houston community. I'm somebody who deeply believes that, you know, if you look at our for-profit, our banks doing community reinvestment, and the nonprofits in Houston, there are so many resources that we have here. And part of that is just sharing that and getting the word out. You know, I've thought about this last year, disaster recovery. That was something that we did during Ike and Harvey. And, you know, that was kind of a response to something. And we look back February and everybody lost, you know, power, and it snowed. So you never know when this stuff's going to come back here. Some of my other really, you know, favorite things that we did, going out to Houston Community College, doing talks. We've done big. I think one year we had over 200 different separate events. You know, we've had years where we've been lean, where we've had just you know, a handful of events, but everybody kind of partnered together. I guess my message there is, you know, Houston, it's what you want it to be. There's different events and different opportunities and activities that you can do around the financial literacy, and we're kind of got our foot in everything. You know, we've had universities, banks, colleges. I know I was able to interview Anise Parker because you know, Houston Money Week was partially one of the things that she did. And so that all of these opportunities have come about through networking at these meetings, and these relationships, and really just getting the message out. That's kind of my thoughts on it. What questions do people have for me?
I don't see any questions coming out, Christopher. But you know, you talk about, you know, you have the show and you've interviewed and you've done. If people are interested in talking to you about that opportunity and what the schedule looks like, and to help promote some of those events come next year, what would that process look like?
Yeah, they can actually go to moneymatterspodcast.com. And there's a link on there, or they can just email me direct. That, you know, the topic is finance, and so I'm always looking for people to interview and talk about money. But of course, we've got a bias here locally, right? I want to promote people in Houston and people who are partners, and really just help everybody get the word out. And so I'm always looking for guests.
So, and as he mentioned, as someone who's been on the show a handful of times over the past years, it's absolutely a fantastic way to share some information about what you're currently doing and what's going on that's out there. So, very cool, very cool. Thank you. Next, I do want to throw it over to Ricky to talk a little bit about from the banking perspective, right? We know that we have community organizations on. We know we have financial institutions on. And what we're doing, but I want to throw it over to Ricky to talk a little bit about from a banking perspective and how they would love to partner with you. And he is speaking not just for his financial institution, but kind of all financial institutions across the city. And we have some amazing partners from many institutions on the call here today. So Ricky, can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Well, as you mentioned, I'm kind of speaking for the group of bankers, but you know, we all do things a little bit different. So I'm just going to try to give some general information, and, you know, as we kind of work through and see who, you know, is a good fit for partnerships, you guys can get more granular. But in general, you know, we're looking to partner with organizations on different, you know, different promotions and different causes. Generally speaking, if you're dealing with somebody in the CRA or community development realm from the bank, you know, we're going to be looking for a couple of key things as we examine the partnership. So, you know, we want it to be geared toward helping low to moderate income individuals, generally speaking. That's not always the case, but, you know, that is something that is a plus for the bank. And we're typically going to look for volunteer opportunities, right? So, you know, most of the time we don't want to just, you know, write a check. We want to be involved. We want to have an opportunity for our bankers to be involved, for us to, you know, to really be at the, you know, to be at the event and to provide some sort of a service. Typically something financial education related, you know, where we can use our expertise as bankers to make an impact to the target audience. We also typically, you know, will be able to provide some financial support. Again, not speaking for everybody. I don't want to, I don't want to give all of Jenny's money away, but she has a lot. If you need anything, get with her. But digress a little bit there. So, typically we want to, we want to be able to, to help out financially as well. That can range in different dollar amounts. So there's not a one size fits all, right? It depends on the organization. It depends on the relationship, and what the actual program is. So, and then the bank can help promote your event. If you have an event that you're putting together, and you partner with a bank or several banks, a lot of us, although we may work at competing financial institutions, we all work together. And when it comes to, community development, it's really a cohesive group of Houston bankers. We all pretty much know each other. We work with each other. We serve on boards, so it may be to where 2 or 3 banks, team up to help, to help do your event. It just depends on what it is, what the appetite of the bank is, kind of what the bank's focus is. Some banks, we do a lot of commercial lending, so anything small business related, we have an interest in, but that doesn't mean that we don't, do anything that's targeted to school age kids or a shelter or whatever the case may be. It just depends on fit, what the bank is looking for, and what your actual plan is. And so if you have if you have an idea, I would start with, if your bank that you bank with, that your organization banks with, hopefully they're a part of Houston Money Week. And if they're not, then you should invite them to come and participate. Look for the right person there within that financial institution. But there's a lot of bankers on the call. Richard, I don't know if we can, provide some sort of a list of bankers. I'm sure it's on our website, but just so that the organizations can kind of reach out, and maybe one of us and you want to have a conversation about an idea you have. It doesn't always have to be a full-blown plan. Like Richard mentioned, a lot of times, it starts with an idea and it grows from there. So feel free to reach out, and let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to partnering.
Excellent, Ricky. Thank you so much. And again, I do want to echo something that Ricky said, is feel comfortable reaching out to them if you're an organization. Sometimes missions align, projects align, things are great. Sometimes they do not, but they're always great to work with and fantastic to have conversations with. And something that I truly value about working with so many fantastic financial institutions is they'll let you know, hey, here's what we're doing and here's what works real well. Hey, this isn't what we're doing today, but here's some ideas that we have, or here's some other ways that we may get involved. And they do a really, really great job. I also want to put out, Ricky, if you don't have the chat up, that Jenny did call you out there just a little bit when you're trying to give away her money. So,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, the last person I would like to just welcome to speak for a few minutes is Dan Scholl from Houston Community College, who's been part of Houston Money Week for quite a while and a few different things, but just talk about, at the higher education field and some of the great things that HCC has done over the years, and maybe some plans if they have anything going on that they're hoping to do here in 2022. So thank you, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just give a quick little caveat. My dog is just so needy today. I don't know what's going on, but she's been making some noises because I'm not petting her. So if you hear some barking in the background or some yipping, that's her just chiming in. So yeah, I've been with Houston Community College for about 2.5 years. Before that, I was with Family Houston. So you might recognize me as Benjamin Franklin, which I don't know if we're going to be able to do Ben Franklin's this year or not, but that's always a fun way to participate in Houston Money Week, is to get to show up at events in costume. And there you go. You can see Ben's there behind Richard. And we have a stable of Ben's because a lot of times we have to be at multiple events. So HCC has really kind of done a lot of different things over the years. As you heard Chris Hensley mention, at one point we would have a lot of people in. We would set up these at the there's a bunch of different campuses. We're really broken up into 5 different colleges. So each college would have its own fair day, and we would have speakers throughout the day. It'd be a lot of events. And so, in the past, we've certainly looked for people to partner with so they don't just hear our voices, the financial coaches there. Last year, obviously, we had to pivot. We were not letting anybody on campus that was not employed by HCC. And so we've really switched to doing everything virtually. All of the students have access to Microsoft Teams. And so we've used Teams, we've used Zoom, and we've taken all of our stuff online and actually had a lot of success with it last year. We really had no idea how many students were going to show up, and we were getting 50, 60 students to show up to these events, which is about what we did in person. So the pivot wasn't as hard as I think we feared, and we didn't give anything away, and people still tuned in. Actually, in terms of working with students, we have found that it's easier for them to join electronically than it is to actually show up in person. Our students are a little transient, so they're not always on campus, regular student hours. A lot of them work, so they can join in from their cars. They can join in from their pajamas, sitting in their bed, because we all know how that, how students roll on that. And actually, we're probably going to focus more on being online with all of our events going forward, or at the very least, if we're on campus, still broadcasting the hybrid, because we've really found such a strong response to our events, as well as to our one-on-one coaching, to be honest. So don't be afraid of doing those events online. Especially the younger generation, I think our feedback is that they're preferring it. And we've heard that also from Lone Star. We've heard that from Austin Community College and a few others that we've spoken with. Any questions about? So we don't totally know what we're going to do at HCC this year. We're still kind of in the planning stages on that, but it'll probably be looking at this point a series of presentations around the main financial topics in April online.
So with that, Dan, just to give people kind of an overview, how many students are there at HCC?
About 75,000.
So they got about 75,000. So, they're talking about doing a series of events. If you're looking to partner or to get with somebody that serves that population, or connect with somebody else in the community, HCC, they have several coaches. So Dan is one of the fantastic coaches over there, does a great job. And again, he's been part of Houston Money Week for a very long time. But if you're looking for that, to serve that population, to reach those individuals, I highly encourage you to reach out to Dan to talk about what they can do at HCC.
Yeah, and I'll just add on that, obviously we it's impossible for us to reach out to 75,000 students. We just can't get that level of engagement. The communication logistics are just mind-boggling. But the other thing that we do have is a student base that's all over the place. There's no typical HCC student. They run in ages from like 18 to 88. You've got people who are in college prep, who, or were college ready, but want to save money by taking their prerequisites before they go to a four-year institution. We've got people in vocational school. We have a large international student base, especially from Vietnam and China, who are taking their ESL courses and some of their basics before they move on to programs here in the United States. We've got students who are homeless, and we got students who are very wealthy. So if you're looking for a group, we can probably put you in touch with them.
Dan, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I've got a few announcements before we get into breakout rooms, and just share a little bit about what either your organization has done in the past, or if you're thinking about doing something this year and are looking for partners and what it's looking at. We want to make sure that we share that information out. So we're going to get out. But I do want to let you know, this is from Ms. Hines, that she's going to be having a free 2-day job seeker boot camp on November 18th and 19th. And so it's up to 15 people that they're going to be doing job coaches there. And so there is a bit.ly, so what you can click on. If you know of anyone who's unemployed, or if you have this information, we're going to do that. After the meeting today, we will be sending out a recap to the partner meeting here, so all the information will be there. Also, if you do want to send any information specifically out to the community about events and things that you have going on, please let me know. I will be putting together my information. I'll be putting in the chat, but you can definitely let me know and text our Houston Money Week email at Aspen, and we will make sure that we get that information out, shared to the entire community that we have moving forward. So we want to make sure that we know those opportunities. And again, Houston Money Week, we definitely want to make sure that we're helping you all connect with one another. We're building ideas as we move forward. And we're doing it kind of as a collective whole. So we're very excited about all those opportunities that we have there. And so now for the second half of the meeting, again, I do want us to break up in rooms where we'll have the opportunity to talk a little bit more about ideas that we might have solid or crazy or potentially on the tip of our tongue that we're thinking we might want to do, or just general ideas or how we would like to get involved to share that. And so we're going to be breaking up into rooms. If your room is done talking, please feel free to come back in the main room and we can get you in a different room. We do appreciate y'all's time with us. So we know that if you have somewhere else to be and run, that we definitely want to make sure that you are able to do that as well. So thank you again for everyone jumping on to our Houston Money Week 2022 virtual kickoff partner meeting as we are getting into the Houston Money Week spirit, and we're excited about April. So I'm about to open up breakout rooms here for us. And as we move forward, and we will see you all in December. The rooms are now all open.